Hello, hello. Welcome, one, welcome all. Welcome to this quick live update. And perhaps not so much of an update, but we really want to hear from you in the context of Wayne Pinnock. All right, so I'm just going to wait for a few of us to be here and we'll definitely get into things. And I also want to hear from you. So we'll have the WhatsApp line open to take some calls. So again, welcome one, welcome all. So happy to have you guys here with us. Please comment in the chat. Let me know where you're tuned in from. All right. And yes, hit the like button, hit the subscription button, tell a friend to tell another friend about the Voices in Education. And we're here and we want to continue to grow stronger together. So ensure that you're doing the do. All right. Hit that like button, hit that subscription button. That is definitely important. All right. So once you're in the chat, let me know, let me know, let me know. That is definitely important. And let me know if you're hearing me loud and clear there in the chat. Again, welcome one, welcome all. All right, so are you hearing me loud and clear in the chat there? Please let me know. All right, so that would be fantastic if you could just let me know in the chat. All right. So as I shared, we're going to talk about Wayne Pinnock. All right, thank you so much, Cheryl, and welcome. Really appreciate that. All right, so we're going to talk about Wayne Pinnock. But for us to get an understanding, and to really contribute to this conversation, and the question is, should Wayne Pinnock jump in silence? So we're playing on that word jump because we know he's a jumper, but also he's jumping ship. All right, so he has switched to Turkey, and recently there has been, a few things in the media. So we want to talk about that, and let me just make this clear. I am not against any athlete who wants to, make better of themselves, who are chasing opportunities. That is totally okay. And I feel that for some of us, when we come to this conversation, we need to come with, clean hands. Because for some of us, it's no different than going abroad to work, right? Because you're not working in Jamaica. And then perhaps, getting your residency there, your citizenship there. So, I am not looking at this conversation from that perspective, but if that is your view, would love to hear your views as long as you keep it real and respectful, because we're not here to bash or belittle anyone. All right, so we just have the conversation and we just keep it real and respectful and keep things going. All right, so I'm just going to try to get this recording up so that we can hear the recording that started this whole conversation. All right. And so, in that context, let me just see here if I can get that up and running for you guys. All right. I think I have it ready. So, let's go.
The message that sends in terms of, I know there's so many things, everyone's got issues with their federations, there's so many things going on in different countries.
Yeah.
What message do you feel like this climate that we're in is sending to the federations, to the people that are looking to the sport to essentially fix up?
Honestly, I think Jamaica need to do better, with the athletes. 'Cause I'm being honest. If I do decide to get hurt right now, I know Jamaica not gonna put me back on my feet for sure, and I do know that. I'm gonna have to spend the money out of my own pocket. So if I could get the opportunity where someone will look out for me, because I've been doing good for my country, and honestly, I never got an email from no one saying congrats before. Yeah, not even an email. Yeah.
All right, so let me know in the chat if you heard that. All right, just let me know in the chat. So that's here the recording that started this whole conversation. All right, guys. So that's just my feedback playing back there because I'm just trying to check in the chat there. So let me just disconnect this. All right, there we go. All right, so pretty much, guys. So let me know if you heard that loud and clear in the chat. All right, and we'll just, contribute to this. So what had happened, that conversation or that interview that Wayne Pinnock did with the Inside Lane triggered a few comments in the media and responses as well, even from the Jamaican government. All right. So because of that, and especially the part where he said he has not even received as much as an email from anyone, so we saw the government, and this is by virtue of Television Jamaica, sharing, pretty much that they sent an email, he got some money. I think one payment perhaps was about 1.4 million, and there was perhaps another payment that's about 1.3 million, somewhere there between the government and I guess the JOA, I believe. But, those were highlighted in the media that, he was pretty much, acknowledged for what he has done since James Beckford. So that was there. And I'm just going to see if I can find that to read that for you in that context. But what I want to point out too, because we keep things fair and balanced. If you remember, and that is why I included the question from the interviewer from Inside Lane. The question was regarding the federation and, and then it extended, I believe, to the country, right? Because I feel that that is also important in the context of Wayne's response. So when, the government shared, I suspect what they had shared with Wayne and the money that they had paid to him. Wayne came back to the media, and I think this was TVJ that I heard it from, and he was saying that he was not directing his comments to the Jamaican government, but to the J3As. Or not to the government or the JOA, so that's the Jamaica Olympic Association, but to the J3As. No, that wasn't clear from his response, right? But I also want to add that the interviewer did ask about the federation and the government and countries, but he, in his response, focused on, the government or Jamaica in general, and so now that he came back to say, oh, I wasn't referring to the government, but then that still does not, take away from the fact that he said that he did not receive as much as an email from anyone, right? And so if you're at the J3s, and we know the J3s, they love to slack up when it comes to certain things. And so in that context, but just overall saying, at least he could have said, okay, I've got some communication from the government, but I would have hoped that the J3s, they would have acknowledged or, said something, whatever the case may be. All right, so I'm going to just get to the clips or the readings, the comments that I have from the government side regarding the payment, and then I'll open the phone line just to hear from you guys. What are your views? So the question is, should he just, go his way and just leave the media alone? So that is what we're asking in the context of should Wayne jump in silence, just stay out of the media, focus on his craft, jump in and, what he wants to do best. And just to hear your views on this entire situation with Wayne Pinnock in the context of the switch. And, there were a lot of comments too to say, under that post. And I think one in particular, was like not even email, that kind of thing. And it's not a good look for the country in that sense. And I feel that this conversation, when we have this conversation, as I shared, there is a lot that we need to take into consideration, right? The fact that if you want better for yourself and you can get better for yourself, that's totally okay. We also need to take into consideration that there are so many athletes, and how much, is one athlete expecting to get from a country. All right, so if, let's say, and this is by no way directed at Wayne, let's say we have an athlete, Y, and athlete Y wants 50 million per year. Can a country do that? Or if they want 20 million per year, how about the other athletes? And again, remember too that yes, they're representing the country, but they are also doing it for themselves, I believe, a big part of it. Because if they were just wearing black, green, and gold and just not making anything, I figure they would have chosen something else, right? And so that is also important, I feel, in the context of this conversation. And guys, I am not able to find this thing, and I don't want to mess with that phone. But in a nutshell, as I shared, the readings or the comments from the government side, I know one was about 1.4 and I think 1.3, and they pretty much acknowledge Wayne in that context. So I'm going to put the WhatsApp number in the chat, and I would love to hear from you. Cheryl is saying, don't blame him for wanting better. Okay, but the lies I hate. All right, you wanted pity and was given a lie as an excuse. And I feel that that's the part that perhaps does not sit well with a lot of persons in the context of, how things are unfolding or have unfolded, because, just go like. And for me, I'm really grateful for each and every athlete, and what they have done for Jamaica land we love, their contributions, to putting the country out there so people can, they have done a lot. But I feel too that sometimes, I don't know, the it's a career. It's similar for me. It's similar when you have a teacher and you're expecting a teacher to be professional, right? So for me, I'm expecting athletes to be professional in whatever they do or say. It's your job, right? And so you don't want to jeopardize your job, because people in, Turkey could be looking at this and say, hey, if you say that about Jamaica, the country, the land of your birth, what would you not say about us? Hmm. So, we just need to be, I guess, more considerate of what we say, what we put out there. And, some interviews you can, okay, just say, it's a personal decision. And that's one that I decided to take, and end it there. Don't get caught up with interviewers twisting you, just trying to get something out there, to get a viral moment. And I'm not sure who is managing Wayne Pinnock at this time, because he would have moved from, I guess, suppose, I don't remember his name right now, it's just slipping me, because he was, I guess, at some, I don't know if he was the manager, perhaps the manager for Wayne and Jaden Hibbert. And so that is definitely something that athletes would want to consider. Mish, welcome, Mish. All right, so I am just going to drop the WhatsApp number in the chat there. All right, so give me a call. All right, we would definitely like to hear from you, so don't be afraid to give us a call. All right, we would definitely love to hear from you in the chat there. So the WhatsApp number is pinned in the chat. Hopefully it is. I think so. Yeah. Guys, I'm using my phone, so sometimes it's not so easy to, to follow along and to get things right. So that's the context there. So I would love to hear from you guys in the context of Wayne Pinnock, should Wayne just jump in silence? So jump over to Turkey and just, do what is necessary for yourself, in terms of the opportunities, in terms of your family priorities. And yeah, the tone of that conversation, I guess that latter part of the conversation with the inside lane perhaps did not sit well with a lot of people, because for example, you mentioned, what if I decide to get hurt? Like, who decides to get hurt? I mean, what if I got, what if I get hurt? That's a different conversation, as opposed to what if I decide. And I feel too, I don't know how the insurance works, but I know that. All right, we would definitely like to. Okay, that's me again. My bad there, because I'm trying to look in the chat. So I don't know how the insurance works, in the context of the government insurance, but the last time I heard that athletes, they have insurance coverage. So I honestly, just some questions there in that context. But again, as I said, this is not a judgmental conversation to say, hey, don't take the opportunity. Go for the opportunity, but perhaps just, give the media a break and just focus on, yourself and your career, because that is definitely important. So come on, guys, I would definitely like to hear from you. I'm going to see if I can follow the chat in another way. And Ovi, I don't know if Ovi is going to call in and share. Would love to hear from him for sure. All right, so we'll definitely see what happens in that context, and I would love to hear from you. So I'm just trying to get into the live chat by another means. So let's see if this works. So again, welcome one, welcome all. If you're just tuning in, we're so happy to have you guys here with us. All right, so definitely happy to have you here with us. And we just want to continue to grow stronger together. So don't be afraid to hit the like button, the share button, the subscription button, as we continue to grow stronger together. And I'm still not getting in the chat, but I'll be in the chat soon, guys. Definitely be in the chat soon. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. And I think I have. And let's see here. All right, so I'm just looking in the chat now. And Mish is saying that, this context is not just with Wayne, other athletes too. So thanks for sharing. And hello, Mats Morgan, welcome. And so guys, I'm going to see if this thing works. Apparently we can do this, and let's see how this thing goes. I'm just trying something here. I'm just trying something on my computer. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know, perhaps not. Okay, now I'm getting there. Yes, guys, so we want to we want to just be here, and let's see. I guess, all right, I guess the goal was shared. I don't know, but let's see how that goes. So Ovi, if you're here, give us a call. We want to hear from you. All right, and let me just see, I'm not seeing any. And thanks for checking, Mats Morgan. I'm not seeing any new comments in the chat just yet. All right. And yes, guys, don't be afraid to call, even if you just want to say hello before we wrap this one up. Even if you just want to call and say hello, that's good. That's good as well. And I'm looking in the chat to see if there are any new comments, and I'm not seeing any new comments in the chat. But again, as I said, perhaps this is going to be a learning opportunity for Wayne. Mistakes are a learning opportunity, and I hope he sees this as that, and he'll take what he needs to take from this experience, and just learn and grow from it. That's it. That's all I would say in that context. All right, Vanessa, hello, hello, welcome. Toffee, welcome. Welcome. Happy to have you guys here. What are your views on, Wayne Pinnock? Let me know. Let me know. The WhatsApp number is pinned at the top of the chat, so you can give us a call. And let me see who is the number one top fan in this chat right now. So Cheryl. All right. Big up to Cheryl. And then Mats Morgan, followed by Jamish. So I'm not sure if this is Mish. All right. So yes, guys, keep those comments coming in as the interaction is good, guys. So any questions in the chat, let me know. And we have lots to talk about. So you want to ensure that you're sticking and staying with us as well. All right. The USA track and field trials. Those are coming up, so you want to ensure that you are sticking and staying with us. You have your subscription. You hit that subscription button. You have your post notification turned on, because that is definitely important as we continue to grow stronger together. All right, so not seeing any new comments here. And I'm not getting any calls. Let me just check. As far as I know here, let me just check if I'm missing out on any. Let me just check here. I'm not seeing any. But yes, guys, if you're just tuning in, I'm just going to play that clip again from Wayne Pinnock that pretty much started the conversation, and what a lot of persons felt disappointed about, his comments, or his comment regarding, the lack of acknowledgement from Jamaica, not even an email. And then it triggered some responses. And then I'll just give you the responses, and then we'll wrap this one up. So let me just go back to that clip and play that one for you. Let's see. All right, there we go.
In terms of the message that sends, in terms of, I know there's so many things, everyone's got issues with their federations, there's so many things going on in different countries.
Yeah.
What message do you feel like this climate that we're in is sending to the federations, to the people that are looking to the sport to essentially fix up?
Honestly, I think Jamaica need to do better. With the athletes. 'Cause I'm being honest. If I do decide to get hurt right now, I know Jamaica not gonna put me back on my feet for sure, and I do know that. I'm gonna have to spend the money out of my own pocket. So if I could get the opportunity where someone will look out for me, because I've been doing good for my country, and honestly, I never got an email from no one saying congrats before. Yeah, not even an email. Yeah.
All right, so that was the comment that triggered a lot of responses. And again, to be fair to Wayne, the interviewer asked, about the federation, and there are always issues with federation, the country. And so Wayne Pinnock, pretty much in his response, focused on the country. All right. And so that triggered some responses, I guess, from the government. That was shared via TVJ News. And so we were able to get that understanding that Wayne got approximately $3 million or close to $3 million. He also got an email congratulating and acknowledging him for what he has done since James Beckford. So it was pretty much, shared that that context and how it was expressed was not true. And the other aspect to that is Wayne, I guess, upon seeing this information, in the media, in the news, he was back on TVJ News, I believe, and he shared that the comment was not directed to the Jamaican government or the JOA, the Jamaica Olympic Association, but to the J3As, right? But still, the comment, I suspect, has left a bad taste in a lot of us, mouths. And so, we just wish and, wish Wayne all the best as he represents Turkey. And I hope that this will be a learning moment for him and other athletes as well. It's definitely important for us to always represent the truth, the facts, and try not to create a bad image of ourselves and others. Because, I mean, as I shared earlier, it could be a situation where Turkish people are looking on and they're saying, if this man can say that about the land of his birth, what would he not say about us? So I guess it's important, and it's we always talk about, life lessons, learning moments. So it's a lot that we can all learn from the situation, to just be wise in what we say and always be considerate of what we say and what we do, because that is definitely important. And you know you don't want a situation like that to come back and haunt you. Yeah. And Cheryl is saying clearly it takes the government and the Jamaican people for fool. All right, so I guess that was just an unfortunate moment there, and he just got caught up in that moment. And I hope, again, he has learned, the lesson from this situation. That's all I can say in this moment. So I am not hearing from my co host. And if you're interested in politics, you can stick and stay and wait on the next live that is going to come up. It's just a quick question on that one. But we do a lot in terms of current affairs, track and field, sport. Definitely is one of our big things here. If you're interested in schoolboy football, that is coming back up. And we are going to be getting in there shortly. So it's going to be an exciting next few months, with all the track and field that is happening, with the start of the Da Costa Cup season. And so, we have lots to look forward to from this space. So again, thank you so, so much. Really appreciate, you coming over and just being here in this space. Uh, Shirley saying, I'm not sure if I can cheer him on in any major championships. But, we want to wish Wayne Pinnock all the very best. He represented Jamaica, I guess, to the best of his abilities, his talents. And so we really want to lift him up for that and, appreciate him. Thank you very much, Wayne. So this is our little way of acknowledging you for all that you have done for our country, Jamaica, land we love. All right, so guys, on that note, continued blessings, and I'll see you in the next live. Bye for now, everyone, and take care.